Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me and you're new to my channel, I am AspieAnswersAll, or known as classically shortened down to Aspie for most people that has been on my channel for quite some time or knows me outside the channel, or as people will know me as basically, you know, my real name is Kieran, but I go in either way. As I said in one of my, you know, tag videos, basically I go from a lot of names, so, you know, just as long as we're just quite clear not to, you know, put each other down and whatnot with the name calling and whatnot. So yeah, I just want to take a moment before I continue with all these Dear Letter series that I've been actually trying to address to you all based on my, you know, personal, not just personal experiences, but when I'm being meditating, thinking, and what to share with you all, regardless of how I and what I feel at the time. Okay, as I said, I want to be genuine, real, and honest, and whatnot, as well as basically just to give you the lowdown of basically, like, you know, no matter what, that hopefully we can accept one another for who and what we are, regardless of our key differences. So in all further ado of the retrospect, also I just want this channel to hopefully be as clean as possible with no put downs or anything like that. I just want to basically be sure that hopefully we can be safe and not be judged, regardless who and what we are as a person, be it if we're different, you know, gender, homosexual, bisexual, or the like, or even just people with different needs. Like, as I shared before, majority of my videos about, you know, with me, with my speech syndrome, OCD, and the like, that hopefully that you guys will understand me more as a person outside the channel, hopefully as well, once I get out of my comfort zone and actually meet and greet people, in all honesty, because that's how it is. Before I give you more of a heads up of what I'm going to do on this next part of my Dear Letter series, is I just want to give you a heads up based on my book journey. At the moment, I've been thinking on trying to advertise it through Twitter, Instagram, as well as basically just hopefully in the last journey of it, if it hopefully will be, for the ones that maybe has Kindles or whatever it may be that would like it onto other stores, and I'm hoping to do an EPUB version of it soon with the help of the person that has been helping me through this through Fiverr, Isfan, which I thank him with the bottom of my heart to do this at this point of time, as well as many others that's helped me on the book journey to get it going along, because without them, obviously it wouldn't have made it this far in its journey to be in your guys' hot hands and actually, you know, be able to really be read. So in all further ado, guys, just bear with me, as we know that the book journey will maybe a bit longer, especially for the ones that really wants it just in their actual physical hands, of the physical copy of that soft copy or hard copy of it that I have as a like example, as I showed in the proof basically. So I humbly apologize in advance of that, but like I said, these things take time, so hopefully in all matter of respect that it will come into play. But like I said, always communication. I'll give you guys the lowdown all the time, however. So in all further ado, guys, basically before I lose track of time, as I said, these are the Dear Letter series, or just my journal excerpts of what I want to share with you all today. Well, not just today exactly, but every day, hopefully, not to bore you or anything, but just to bring out what I've been thinking while meditating and that. So this one is the part 1 of the Dear World that I forgot to add in. Hopefully you guys will, as you're following through, will be, you know, able to understand where I'm coming from with all these Dear Letter series, because I want these as a form of encouragement, enlightenment, motivation, dedication, and all that entailed to at least basically be for the ones that's of help to anyone that may be feeling troubled and whatnot. So no one further ado, this is Dear World part 1. I don't even know a proper title for this Dear World, but I'm just going to be, you know, calling it Dear World for now. Okay, so let's begin. I want to be, let's be real and honest here, as always. I know everyday situations can be a real kick in the guts for us when we're down and out, and everything happens for a reason and a season at a time. Sometimes we go through hardships to test us in a way of every level of our spiritual mindset versus our physical mindset versus, you know, the physical being, as well as just maybe the matter of our faith situation. I know for a fact that despite all these situations that I've been through, regardless, you know, they have taught me life lessons like anything in life. You know, I want to be real also with situations that I've been through, they are actually real, and basically they have happened to me to an extent where many people may not be able to understand it as well as myself, but I know for some reasons when we go through our hardships, basically sometimes some things that we look for in our answers can't always be there, straight there, bang, booyah, wave the magic wand and it's there. I just believe that, with all this, of situations that we face, regardless what it is, will come to the power of our knowledge, experience, and the choices we make every day with having these, Also, this comes into the everyday choices by having the right attitude or not, basically, as well as the right way of thinking or not, again by choice, towards everyday situations and obstacles that will come in our lifetime, be it whatever it may be. Sometimes, we know that sometimes there'll be a time that we might need to do things that we may later regret, or some of the things that we do tend to rush, even though we know time is of the essence. Sometimes time is our enemy, that we feel we need to be in the fast lane, doing everything in the fast lane. Like I've learnt now, I'm trying not to be a superwoman all the time, trying to rescue everybody's based on their everyday problems or whatever the case may be. I just hopefully be there to support them as best as I can, regardless if I just have to sit there and listen, or if they do end up asking me for, my turn of the events of, my food for thought, what they're going through. Hopefully that, with that, they'll just be able to accept it. Like anything else, acceptance is key to most things, as well as motivation to everyday situation that arises, regardless of good or bad and the ugly. I believe that we're here for a reason and a purpose in life. Regardless, we shouldn't be here to judge and criticize each other of basically, everyone, wanting everyone perfect, or shall I say, as in one of my videos over, having that huge expectation on others that, hopefully they'll change, hopefully they'll just basically do what they do. I know for a fact I'm not perfect, and as I was reading in one of the comments on my YouTube, which I thank this person, Cole Hamel, if he's watching this, for actually pointing out, what if, this question that popped up was on that toxic people get out of my life now. The question he challenged me was, what if I was a toxic person? Well, basically, I gave you the answer to that, Cole, as you know, and also basically in that day and age, also basically, I'm thinking on sharing my faithful thoughts about my life experience, being that maybe toxic person once upon a time, until I've realised that something had to, change. Before everything is too late, I lose everything, be it my friends, family, and everything around me. I believe also we shouldn't be here to judge or criticise others by just, picking up the faults, flaws, and imperfections of each other. We should be accepting of everything in the package, regardless if we're big or small. I mean it not just in a sexual sense, but just height-wise versus weight-wise and all that. But obviously many people also laugh and scoff at me, thinking, Karen, you're in a dream fantasy world right now. This is not always the case. I've been getting that all the time, with that kind of statement out of me, but then that's just life. I believe that despite these imperfections in life, we shouldn't have to compete with each other, regardless of our journey. Our journey of life is different to everyone. I feel that, we are the creators and writers of the story, as I've said many times before. Basically, we shouldn't have to worry about other people's thoughts and opinions, like I'm trying to learn right now, to be honest. It's been real hard road for me right now, trying not to worry too much about what others may think and say about me behind my back or in front of me, whatever the case may be. It's all about being real, and obviously if we had any problems, like I said, I've been trying to actually, if it was a problem with a person, to at least confront that person and actually talk it out with them. But some of them obviously just doesn't want to, accept that fact and actually talk it out with me, so that's fine. It's about just hopefully maybe letting it go in reality as well. Also, I believe also in life, it's not about who's right and wrong, even though when we do have our arguments, some people just wants to have their last word or last piece of the matter in that argument or whatever it may be. It's not always a classic call of being right or wrong. It's all about basically knowing who and what we are and accepting of who and what we are as a person. Basically, it's about being real in ourselves, about the reality of certain situations that we may come to face. Okay, this didn't work out, maybe either A, let it go, or B, find another solution to it if we want to. We're all here for a reason and purpose, for like self-learning, self-teaching ourselves, basically, as well as just self-discovery, knowing who and what we are as a person. If we don't know who and what we are, sometimes it takes a while for many of us to know who and what we are as a person in general. I've also believed we need to accept everything about us in truth, about everyday situations, of our worst and darkest secrets, as well as the demons that we may face, be it whatever it may be. Sometimes some things like karma, as people say, would likely to ask me, would bite me in the ass. Yes, it would bite me in the ass if I'm not being right on myself until what I've shared before. Like, I know my everyday life of living at the moment, probably many people will point the finger at me about the way I am as a supposed to be a believer, but who are we to judge, regardless? Even though I'm now learning right now that some people will test us in our everyday situations, regardless what it may be. I said this so many times before as well, but I'm not perfect as well as you guys, basically, and some things I've learned now is needs to be kept dark or in the secret, cupboard, even if you guys know me, that I'm loyal, honest, and all that, and I'm about to, open up a can of wounds, or open up the real deep, dark secrets of my own, regardless what it is, even though I've learned today now just to, face up to them, and obviously deal with what I can when I can. I believe in this world today that we live in, it's superficial and fake, because obviously in this day and age I've noticed that, sometimes many people will put on a good classic act of, everything's okay, when we know sometimes in our being they're not okay, or the situation they're facing is not okay, regardless what it may be. I've learned that so many times before that, despite how I feel and what I feel, that basically, 9 times out of 10 I will put on a mask, regardless, hiding up the real feelings and that. Many people have noticed me as the fighter versus, not a fighter in the physical, but, just a fighter in my little quiet world of mine, of what I've been through, regardless, and that, I'm a living testament, living proof that, everything happens for a reason, and I believe that I will still have my down days, regardless of my good days as well, but it's all about, like I said before, having the right attitude, right positive thinking versus, every right people around me, as well as this goes for you guys too. I believe also, though, we have the right to express ourselves, in the right way, though we feel is deemed appropriate, when appropriate. But then again, also, there is a right and wrong time to speak, I believe also. But then again, many people may argue that fact with me, but that doesn't matter, because at the point of time, though, how I look at it, many people may think, hang on a minute, Kieran, what are you trying to say here? Well, what I'm trying to say here is that many people may slow me down for what I believe in versus, what I may say. That's fine, because, I don't want to be silenced anymore to a point now, because after what I've been through, I know for a fact where I'm standing right now, I need to share what's on my heart and mind at that time, even though, yes, I would love to just keep to my little world and maybe write it in my journal and just throw away the key. But then again, as I said in one of my videos over, I think if once you're following this, is the stairwell part 2, the changes I see today. There's a lot of things that's going on in our world that we are so blind to the oblivion of what's going on really in this day and age in our world today, regardless what it may be, and many people may tend to question why this is happening, how it's happening and all that. Okay, I believe also when it comes down to having the right to express ourselves, be it in our words, expressions of, our actions, and that when it's deemed appropriate, many of us will tend to abuse that, maybe the social media, if we used it as a social media point where we want to have our say, regardless if it's YouTube or Facebook or some other media platform that we feel basically should sometimes I feel like when that's happening, okay, when we do tend to feel that we abuse the social media, I feel like we're trapped in someone else's life or body, that we're acting like someone else. I feel like sometimes, you know, that it's good to have technology and not, basically. Sometimes, you know, I feel that we should just at least be more wiser to our words of what needs to be said and done, however. Another thing is to address to you all, though, is I believe that despite being on the social media, I feel that with all this, you know, internet bullying versus, you know, trolling of people's words and that, is just obviously puts them in a wrong perspective of who and what they are as people, you know, of whom they are not, you know, and being someone else in their lives to the point when it's not there. Okay, as we know, also perception of the social media obviously misleads us to misunderstandings, and that with that social media it can damage us to the point, as well as any of the relationships. So basically what I'm saying here is, basically we may feel that, you know, we want to boast to the world our relationship status versus relationship status quo, or even just if we were in a relationship and we just want to bring down our partner to a point that, you know, it's really bad. But then again, it's alright to just maybe tie-ho a bit about it and maybe keep it behind closed doors and discuss it with our partner if we had problems in our relationship, if that partner will want to cooperate, however. Sometimes also denying our own problems, hiding from it and seeing it not existing. Sometimes we need to have nothing to gain sometimes in our lives. There's a lot of hurt and broken people in this world, however, I find we need to learn from our experiences and mistakes to end this. Finding perfection in ourselves and others is not always guaranteed, however. No one is perfect, nothing is perfect. Okay, basically, there was a quote that I was following and reading from when I was watching one of these Dear World videos, basically by Don Miguel Ruiz of the 4 Agreements. Basically, I don't know the actual quote, so I can't quote it word for word, but once I find it, I'll put it in the description. But from what I can recall from what I was watching is, as well as reading it of the book online, is humans punishing themselves for goodness is a way of healing and having to deal with self-worth and more. Basically, that ends basically the Dear World Part 1. Give me a like for thumbs up for support. Basically, also just give me a lowdown of the comments below of your feedback so far, whether it's regardless of how I'm going with my channel, or just basically maybe certain things that you want to share and enlighten others in our day and age, because I'm all about wanting to create a positive atmosphere and hopefully no pressure for anyone that wants to just share their stories or whatever, either on one of my video series or just private messaging me on Facebook, Twitter, or even on YouTube, basically on AspieAnswersAll. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so for daily, weekly vlogs, even though I'm gonna hopefully short down my hours right now of my vlogging, or shall we say my days. Hopefully it might be only 3 days a week, even though right now I'm thinking, even though I haven't done a shout-out Sunday for a while, many people may be questioning where's those shout-out Sundays that I'm probably anticipating right now, but I'm hoping that you guys can just wait on that. So in all further ado, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for your support, do what you love what you do, and I'll see you again next time.